Because I would like to have review our prepared stuff in the meeting.
Evening, everybody. I call to order the 7 o'clock, May 14th, regular board meeting. Pledge of allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Trustee Kirby,
Here.
Trustee LaFreda, here. Trustee Bowman, sorry, Trustee Rattler, here.
Okay.
Trustee Sloan,
Here.
Supervisor Bowman.
Here.
We have quorum, also present, Assessor Ross, Highway Supervisor Kula, Clerk Larson, and Attorney Megan.
Number 4, do we have any public comments tonight?
I'd like to reserve my comments for item G and the approaches.
Okay. Any other public comments?
I was wondering why the township doesn't have a commemorative flag of some sort for those who paid the ultimate price to protect, give us our country, to give us our liberty, our freedom. This month ends on Memorial Day, which that's what it's for. And is there a protocol for requesting a flag?
There is. We'd have to go before the board.
But the protocol to get it to go before the board is it has to make it to the agenda to go before the
Yeah, we
board.
just have to request it.
Any
We have
other,
a policy.
any other public comments? How about reports? Anyone would like to give a report tonight? Okay, new business. Can I have a motion? Oh, you want
I thought that were you gonna give that report, Cindy, or you just put it?
I just put it in there, you just like everybody else.
I just had a couple questions.
Sure.
Well, I don't know the exact system to how things get fixed. I have it broken.
I just go and ask in the office. I don't know.
Pardon?
To get them repaired.
Okay, and who's supposed to do that? I mean, what?
All I always is told is about supervisor. And ask in the supervisor's office.
Okay, seems like that might be something we got.
So, I mean, there's no, building manager. I thought Isaac was, that helps take care of the building, that's why I always ask him to repair things. Other than that, I don't know who has to repair.
Is there anybody in your office that could do any of those things or?
I hate that. The repair stuff. I mean, I can't reach the electric up on top, the furnace and AC. That's,
So I was wondering just about the carpet cleaning, because a cleaning service isn't gonna clean your carpeting.
well,
A cleaning service vacuums.
right, and then I can also figure out who can I hire.
That's what I was
to
thinking.
come and clean.
So did you find any bids or anything?
No, I have not. I have a couple bids for office cleaning, so I'm gonna probably have one of them.
Okay, so that's what I was just wondering.
Yeah.
I guess that's first step.
I thought in the last couple meetings that we gave out, a couple bids that, yeah.
Yeah, I just.
They were a couple months ago, so I didn't know if they were in, I could give them to you if you'd like.
And they vary from $35 to $250.
Okay,
So it depends on the quality of cleaning and how much we want to pay.
right. And I just didn't remember that, so I thought, well, first we need bids, that's all. It might be big.
Like I said, I did forward.
And then yeah, that'd be great. And then the carpet cleaning
I know.
is a separate deal. And
Right, so I don't know, I maybe ask that company whoever,
Right.
right, just clean the carpets at least once. Because they've been installed since Lisa was here and that was 3 supervisors ago. And they've never been cleaned.
So I think the more appropriate would be for the supervisor to send in bids that come. since the.
We've done some, and I said, it's just, it varies quite a bit, and
Okay,
also
so word variation, because one is like $30 and then one's like $150. Next one was like 300, so it's like, what are you really gonna clean at $30 a day?
And I did look at Isaac's, jobs, you know, and everything is.
And if I need to approach someone else in regards to it?
Right, we will have to figure that out,
Yeah.
if there's things that your office is able to do.
I mean, the light bulb, no, I couldn't do that because I don't have a ladder and I have too short.
Okay,
And it wasn't really actually the light bulb, it's the housing inside of it, this loops.
so we may have to call somebody then,
It's not an electric, you know.
we may have to call somebody.
When I only asked you about food, because you said you were too short.
Yeah.
So, oh, it was $7.
Sorry,
Because,
I mean, I do enough stuff.
no, that's my point, is I wasn't asking you to do it. I thought, oh, just a matter of reaching, you know?
No, changing light bulbs, I mean, shoot, I could do that, we have to change ours and.
I mean, everything else. Yeah, so, okay. Yeah, that's good. I just wanted a little more information on all that, so.
So Jeannie, correct me if I'm wrong, but sort of going back into history, the supervisor's office has typically been responsible for mechanicals in the overall building.
Yes.
Whereas things like individual cleaning could go to each individual department as well.
That could, yes, well, yes and no. Clearly, the supervisor's office is in charge of the facility, which would include the cleaning and the maintenance of the facility. And so if there's, and we've had this discussion, and we have had this discussion, the three of us. And so it's a matter of the supervisor, you know, she presented some and the supervisor was going to get some more, and then presenting us for us to approve any other maintenance outside of the
And
supervisor.
it's also understanding that Isaac's role has changed over the last 2 years, so what. he
Okay,
was-
because when he emailed me, it said building clerk on
So-
it, so
So what his job was
I know
two
back then,
years
he
ago.
was Terry Scoper. But.
But let me hear what Michelle's trying to say.
Yeah, so, but I mean, even in his email, it said building clerk, so I mean,
No, I understand that, but again, Isaac, I've been standing up for Isaac multiple times.
okay, so I asked him the
Because-
thing.
No. The thing is,
I
I
think there's a
asked,
way to get things.
I asked Anne Marie today or yesterday for the job description, and we're gonna be looking at that.
That's
Just
fine.
because he's a full-time caseworker, and you know, might be that I do have to hire a part-time position, even on the supervisor, then how's that going for you, hiring someone on your end?
I haven't had a chance to find someone yet
Okay.
because I've been trying to revalue, but
Okay, great. So yeah, I think that's something we're gonna have to look at too for the supervisor side. Do we have any more reports or anything like that?
I think mine will be later, correct?
Yes, yeah, because you asked for it to be on the agenda, so.
Yeah.
New business. Approval of minutes as presented. Have a motion to approve the April regular board meeting minutes as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the April board meeting minutes as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Sloan,
Aye.
trustee Kirby,
Yeah.
I'm right to raise my chair because I'm. Oh. Yes.
trustee LaFreda,
Aye.
trustee Rafa,
Aye.
supervisor Bowman,
Yes.
motion carries.
B, can I have approval of monthly bills as presented, 1 prepaid bills and 2 outstanding bills? There a motion?
I move to approve the, prepaid and outstanding bills as reviewed.
I second it. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Rafa,
Aye.
trustee LaFreda,
Aye.
trustee Kirby,
Aye.
trustee Sloan,
Aye.
supervisor Bowman,
Aye.
motion carries.
C, discussion approval with underground storage tank area inspection, testing and possible recommendation. That would be Bob.
Guys, that quote I gave you earlier, that was just, that's an additional one. The one I'm recommending is the first one that you do, that's in the board report. was, I think, for about, I think, 14,000 and some change. The one I gave you tonight is for 17 change. That's gonna include the sole boring. You see the scope of work there, it includes the sole boring, the 20 days cert and the 45-day cert. That's if the sole boards come in the lab analysis, if the lab analysis comes back good, which I'm expecting it to, but the wait and see on that. Then this company here will submit for a NFR from the EPA, which is the further remediation letter. A request for that NFR from EPA. So that's what we've been talking about the last few months, and we're ready to get moving on that. Pardon me? Yeah, I need approval for I'm asking for approval for the first bid, the one that came with the one that came with your pack, with your work packet. I just,
Take feedback for the, what's the name of the company?
the second one, or the one, the one that's included is Brendan Peterson Environmental.
Okay.
And they do a lot of, they do a lot of work with underground storage tanks.
So do we have to add that name? Or approval?
Give them the approval to go with the Peterson.
Peterson, yeah, the second one is Huffman, I think. They're the first one, the other one that I gave you. That one was 17. Yeah, 17. Something.
17.
Yep, 17 and change, right? So, the first one, the one that's in the board report is the one I'm asking for approval for.
So did you move for that?
No, we were just kind of hashing out what we we're looking for. We needed the,
Name.
what's the name of it again?
So we need a motion to approve Peterson Environmental, the amount of 14,800.
And just keep in mind if the worst case scenario, if they find something,
Go up because
then it's gonna go up a little bit. I don't know, it depends on the concentration, that type of thing, so but that's gonna be a step by step, but right now this is the initial. Get the soil boring done. I think they do every 5 foot in the surrounding area where we believe the tank was, and then go from there.
How many years ago was it?
1989 is when it was pulled out, I think. Yeah, so, and 30 years.
Are you anticipating some, consequences that you're not aware of?
I don't think so. I think based on what I found, you know, the leak was not the tank itself, it was the fill stem. That you know, that went into the tank. So if the tank itself was still solid and, you know, there wasn't a problem with the tank, then I don't think we have that capacity for a lot of seepage from the, you know, I mean, so it's just a matter of when the tank's being filled. So.
So I'd like to move to approve the 14,800 for the Peterson and Environmental, is that company? I'm wondering, before I stop, I'm wondering if you want to have a cushion for that in case there is something small.
Well, I think if there's gonna be any change to that, we can probably address that when time comes, because I think the reason there's gonna be a change, it's probably not gonna be small.
All right. I thought that in my head too, it's probably gonna be a big one, so I'll approve the 14,800. 14,000.
And then you have to put back that you might come back for more or just read.
If we need to, if we find contamination, it's an issue, then yeah, we'll have to address that as we go.
It'd be a whole second.
Yeah. If you thought there was gonna be something little, I would have extended it, but, generally for anything that's in the ground usually isn't little. So I would hold it at the 14,800.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Repa,
Aye.
trustee Sloan,
Aye.
trustee LaFredo.
Aye.
Trustee Kirby, supervisor Bowman,
Aye.
motion carries.
D, Fairfield Road Planning Study, Rudy.
All right, yeah. On Thursday, May 2nd, I attended the Fairfield Road Planning and Environmental Linkages Study Stakeholder Environmental Involvement Group meeting held in conjunction with the Lake County Department of Transportation. This meeting looked at the intersections between Oakwood Drive and Round Lake Beach throughout 176 and Wakanda. The meeting lasted roughly 2 hours, and concern topics of vehicle crashes and safety, pedestrian and cyclist mobility, traffic, and environmental impacts on Fairfield Road. Participants included several local villages and stakeholders, including Round Lake Beach, Avon Township, and Fremont Township. The Fairfield Road Planning and Environmental Linkages Study is still in the early stages of planning. Over the next 2 years, the group will continue to meet with local stakeholders and the public to understand the issues affecting commuters and residents. Lake County Department of Transportation plans to use such information to present several alternatives for improvements along the Fairfield Road corridor, which will hopefully be ready for public evaluation by fall of 2024. So thank you, Michelle, for bringing this project to my attention. And if anyone is interested in learning more about the study or would like to provide feedback to Lake County, there will be a public open house this Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Round Lake Area Park District, located at 814 Hart Road, Round Lake, Illinois. Exhibits will be set up and staff from Lake County will be there to answer any questions.
So how do you feel the overall meeting went?
I felt like the meeting provided shed a light on some of the issues, especially by the railroad tracks over at Fairfield and Round Lake, where especially near Long Lake Drive, where there's continual backups of people trying to turn from Long Lake onto Fairfield and people turning over by the light over there. That is consistently, as people brought up, one of the most dangerous areas, but also some of the most congested was near 120 and 60, where, as we know, if we've ever come on from Gilmer up to Fairfield, trying to get past 60, it's always backed up. And it's a huge inconvenience. For
Is that in
commuters.
traffic times?
Yeah, during traffic, during rush hour. Yeah. So I certainly not as bad as Haynesville and 120. That's constant, that's all day.
It is all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But certainly and the other thing with Fairfield Road that people pointed out is that there's no sidewalks for the vast majority of it. Near Round Lake Beach, the sidewalks that are really there aren't up to ADA standards. So there's, curbs with no ramps. So there's a lot of issues for accessibility for people without cars or who are just trying to ride a bike to connect to one of the local parks or trails we have. So if you have concerns or issues with Fairfield Road, go there. Round Lake Park District, this Thursday, 7 to 9.
I was really happy when Michelle told me that. She talked to you. I think that was really great to do that.
Yeah.
And represent our interest because of course, we know we've had ongoing dispute about this. So,
I also did bring up with Lake County, our project for Nippersink Road and continuing, communications between Avon Township and Lake County.
Yeah.
So,
And I like that the bike trail is considered in some of your stuff and what you learned.
yes.
So that was.
Well, it's right up your alley.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's right up your alley, and so that when I got the email, I'm like, I'm calling Rudy.
Yeah.
Because you would be able to not only understand it, but be able to bring back the information to us and to our community bodies that we have that are invested in the Avon Township. So thank you.
Yeah, so no business for us to vote on, but if anyone would want more information, feel free to talk to me afterwards or go to that public meeting.
Thank you. So at Eagle Scout projects, the Eagle Scout that is planning on doing another project for us, kids was not able to come today. We still have to get his signatures signed off on his next project, so we'll wait on that. But just to catch you up on a couple additional projects I didn't tell you last month. We are redoing the garden. It's gonna be actually, if Doug was right, if we had the curtains unveiled. You can see our community garden. We're gonna be digging up just the grass and putting wood chips in and making it where we have seniors or anybody who's doing the garden, they're gonna be able to sit. It's gonna be a little bit more of a beautification to add to the township. Especially we have a lot of seniors that do programs here. They could just go right out the door. They could be able to sit on the tables. They could sit on the chairs. They could sit under the shade with the umbrellas and just kind of appreciate our backyard that we have. So stay tuned for the next project. I was hoping that I was gonna be here because I wanted him to be able to tell you guys what he's doing, but we'll wait on that.
That's
It
exciting.
is, yeah, I mean, we have had so many projects done, not just with the Eagle Scouts, but with all these other organizations and youth, that it's not costing the township $1 for the most part, except for maybe like a little bit of maintenance. And that has increased the value of the township, not only with, you know, outdoor fashion, to the tables, all that, but the atmosphere when people are able to come to the township and use our facilities. So that's kind of. Any other questions? If not, we'll have to wait on what he's doing. If not, we're gonna go on to G, resolution. We need that. So anyways, I'm not sure how often you guys read the Perspective magazine, but there's always training. And this is an upcoming training for the trustees. And there's also training in November where you get to go to Springfield and you get to meet other township, not just trustees, but supervisors and highway commissioners, and just be more a part of what's going on, because our township, we're little, we live in this little world of how township government works. But if we go to these events, we're gonna be able to meet with people and get better ideas and get ourselves more educated. So if you guys are able to go to the conference, or if you are able to go to one of these trainings, and also there's a lot of online training that you could sign up for, let us know. You'll be reimbursed, so there's no fee for you to do it. Some of the webinars you can watch at your own leisure. It'll just make us a little bit more educated. And also one part is learning what all the other townships are doing. So I highly suggest that you look into getting trained or going on some of the webinars.
I just want to highlight, if, we all get, all of us, get emails all the time from townships, you don't, you have to just rely on the magazine. But when you see something from the townships regarding training, I know all of us get tons of emails every day, but they're worth looking at and seeing if you like this, because a lot of them are electronically based, not in person, so thank you, because they're.
And if you haven't been on to the TOI website, it's another great place for you to get your questions answered or talk to someone in TOI too.
The TOI conference in November, if you haven't been, highly recommend. The stuff you can learn from other townships and some of what they're doing is just, it's incredible. You can see some of the stuff that they do downstate that's really out of scope, because we have all these fire protection districts and library districts everywhere. You can see how, involved townships are in everyday life down there. It really is amazing, and it's just a great time to get to network, and Megan presents down there sometimes, so.
Yes,
And her is always there.
always there. But and then you get to pick and choose what you want to do. So I went to training outside of my supervisor role, so I could get a better understanding of what the clerk does, what the trustees do. I actually went training for the weekend with the highway department last year, because technically I'm in charge of the highway department, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because it's not my expertise, but the way the law is. Now Bob has to go to me and ask me for decisions to be made. But being able to spend the weekend, things make a lot more sense. You meet more people. So yeah, highway supervisor training I went, and it was good.
Yeah.
I learned a little more about what Bob does, and Bob does a lot. So thank you.
And when Bob goes on vacation, we have to go look over.
Yeah.
Yes, we can really relax. Next week.
Yesterday, we talked about me spending a day with your employees and helping to see how you guys do the roads, and just spending the day to see really what the highway department does, because it'll give me an opportunity when people ask me about the unincorporated roads. I'll have a lot more. Highland Lake talks to me a lot about things that actually pertain to what Bob does. But they give me all their questions, and then I have to go to Bob. I know more about beavers and I know more about, I forgot, what did I ask you last week? What did they want? I'm like, I don't remember.
Okay.
Something, sand. It was about getting sand, and as much as I want to know where to get local sand, I do not. But anyways, education is the key to us being a stronger board.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Okay, now we're gonna move on to D. Resolution number 24RS002, discussion of possible adoption of a resolution authorizing display of the LGBTQ pride flag at Avon Township.
I move to approve the resolution number
I would like to say two things.
Well, we have to get a motion.
Oh, then we, okay, sorry, I thought you were jumping ahead of me.
Not a problem.
So,
I'll make a
okay, and then now is the moment.
second.
Right, and then I know Travis wants.
Okay, go ahead.
We need a second.
Oh, all right,
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen,
sorry.
that's okay. Travis Haley from Round Lake Beach. This has been actually a great new tradition that this board has been carrying for the past 3 years now of displaying the pride flag. In the last 3 years, I've heard from countless residents within the township that's actually grateful that this has been happening. A great tradition showing that they're welcoming everyone into the community here. They don't feel alone. This has been also a great tradition that's been happening with many other local municipalities in the county, including the county board. And as far as I'm aware of, within the last 3 years for this township, I've not heard of anyone making any formal complaints or making any threats of a lawsuit about what this township has been doing. It's my hope that this board will consider, instead of displaying it for the weekend, of a certain weekend, that it would be displayed throughout the entire month of June, as it has been from the county courthouse, along with many other municipalities, and we can join that list of showing that Avon Township is welcome towards everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
So since I read the resolution, there's just so many questions and things to think about of where this takes us. And that said, I'm gonna say, I support the LB. I always get these a little nervous, but the community, LBGQT community, I'm sorry. And I really admire that dedication and the fortitude and industry, you know, and all the things that have changed in the last, what, I don't know, it's 10 years. And I support us flying the flag, so I'm not here to, but I have some issues that I just want to make sure that we think about and we commit to forward, that there's a lot to unpack in this decision, and because I do think it's different for the month rather than the weekend, if that's what we're that's what we're voting on. And one of the things that I just thought about is how sad it is that that a community has to ask for this and it has to have it to feel that they're going to enjoy the freedoms and liberties other Americans enjoy. So I feel that, but I feel that for many communities in historically marginalized communities in Avon Township. And that's where my concerns lie. Just what are we going to do next? And how are we going to, what are our procedures and policies going to be for a situation like this? I mean, already tonight, something was brought up, and there's probably more than 12 communities that might want to use, and they're using, I read something about government speech, that they're using, we're using Avon Township for government speech to express an opinion. And so we want to be fair about it and equitable about it. And so I feel that voting yes should go with a commitment to move forward and really get this buttoned up on how we're going to handle this and how we're going to do it. Because we want to be fair, equitable, and protect ourselves for kind of things that I thought about. So, and I looked at the resolution and the last thing it does say, dedicated to meeting the needs of everyone in our community. That this was one of your whereases, especially those who have been marginally underserved. So I thought, okay, we're going to use this resolution as something that we believe in, that we have to really believe in it. That's my 2 cents.
Then you,
So, citizen question? Some citizen here. Is there no blowback on this stuff? On the flag being thrown, any blowback?
I've had a combination. I've had a combination of people very supportive and some people questioning, well, why we're flying the flag. It's more because it's government speech. It's, you know, it's up to the township, it's up to the villages, but it's actually up to us as a board to decide.
Patty, I can address one of your questions, maybe before you were on the board, I think it was before you were on the board. We adopted a policy about.
Definitely
We
before.
adopted a policy
Yeah.
about a flag line, and I can also send you a memo that I wrote to the board. There was a Supreme Court case that came out, I think it was last year, out of Boston,
I
sure the case.
I'd like to see it, but I did read about that.
I have a copy of that with me, just in case it was called for.
That piece over there. So it's a significant case because it differentiates between what is government speech and what is a public forum. And so by the board telling what flags fly, we're keeping it as government speech, which is allowed to be more narrow and tailored. It's if anyone can come and just fly a flag whenever they want, that it becomes a public forum. And then, for example, if someone just came and flew a flag, then we have to allow the township would essentially give up the right to monitor which flags are flown and would have to allow anyone who wanted to fly a flag to do so, even if it was, for example, like the KKK. So by having in place a policy and by asking that, for example, you asked at the beginning of the meeting if we could have, I think you want like a POW flag to fly. We could do that. We would just consider it our next meeting. That could be a request, and then that could fly if the board chose to approve that.
I think the hard part is deciding, so we have the Juneteenth too. You know,
And I think that's already approved in the.
it's only approved, but that only gets a weekend, that only gets a certain amount of time, but that's a federal and state holiday. And then how do we put the flags up, which flag has priority over another one? Is it, do we keep the pride flag for 30 days above the Juneteenth, or does Juneteenth for that weekend get switched? There's a lot of concerns when you start putting one above the other. It's just a lot for us to think about, where we don't have a policy in place, you know, with that. And if we move forward with this one, again, it's things we have to think about, because things that are important to us, somebody else may have that strong of a belief and passion, because whatever is going on in their life and their family's life or their community, and there is a flag, they might feel that it's their right to come here and ask us to put up the flag, and then we're gonna have to make that decision. And we're gonna have to go to somebody and say, we're sorry, we do not support your whatever it might be. And that's something that we have to look at, you know, in the future, that we come up at the next meeting or any time.
And I think, if I recall, a lot of this was addressed last year when we talked about Juneteenth, where the state of Illinois has already provided guidance on how they're handling it. That's been sort of where we've taken guidance from.
Yeah.
The Juneteenth flag was one of those particular things. That's how that discussion point came up. The pride flag, the LGBTQ flag, is also one of those items that the state has been very clear on, and they actually have it coded in their statutes.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at those things, we can use the state as a guideline. That's a very clear and simple one.
Yes, it is. Yep,
Right.
right, we have the policy set up for pretty much all of this, as long as it's state, you know, okay, then we're okay with flying it.
And I think to address, you know, Doug's comment earlier that every Memorial Day since I've been serving here, the POW flag has been raised. The flag has been treated to half staff until noon. and then raised the rest of the way for Veterans Day. The POW flag again has been flown on our flagpole. So been very conscious of honoring our loss. And a commemorative flag falls within the flag code itself from the United States. So I think that's not even a question. There's like a list of 4 flags that are acceptable.
I thought that we had addressed that as well, and hadn't seen.
I don't even know if that's an item the board needs to do other than to say, go buy a flag.
Exactly, follow this, we've had all.
I was, yeah, it's had, it's a
Yes, because of my involvement with public education, I've seen this crumble and fall. And glad that we haven't had any crumbles and falls, but we need to protect ourselves, and policy is the way to do that. And that's why we need to make sure that our policy.
I think we just need to get Patty a copy of all this.
Well, and I think that if we're, because I really spent some time and asked some questions of people, and no one told me there was already a policy. And I feel like it would have been nice actually to get the resolution before Saturday and to know, you know, if we're just acting on something we've already decided, that's something a new trustee should know.
Well, I think it's different because the resolution has changed every year or two. We've gone from the weekend, we've gone to a display. So it's never been a constant. We don't have something that says in the policy it's going to be for 30 days every year. It's been changed. So talking about the LGBTQ flag, we've had different policies each year. So this would be our 4th resolution on the flag. So it's not constant.
Right, but there would be you know, to know there was a place to go read and see where we stand would have been very helpful. Would have saved me a lot of heartache.
Yeah, yes, I
I
understand.
get to reach out to me in the future.
Yeah. But I understand, I do believe that we do have to look at it a little bit more and revamp it. Because new issues do come up every year, and it's something that we move forward.
Our climate is unrealistically changing every single year, and we need to be.
Yeah, I think so.
Do we have any more discussion on the flag?
I'll just say that I talked to the county board and they did say there wasn't any, like, okay, we want to fly our flag too, but I imagine that will come, you know, for everybody because the political climate is always changing.
Yeah.
But so far, you know, that's what I talked to Sandy Harris.
Right, it's just for that first person to come to us, or just like the first person who came to a board and said, we want you to fly this. And if they weren't expecting it, you do have to be prepared for what could come. We definitely are, but even if we make a statement, we're still gonna have to say why and be prepared for consequences for people being okay with that. Because what's really important to one person is not important to other people. You have to be able to see both sides of somebody's situation. Okay, if there's no more discussion, roll call.
Trustee LaFreda?
Aye.
Trustee Ruppa?
Aye.
Trustee Sloan?
Aye.
Trustee Kirby? Supervisor Bauman?
Aye.
Motion carries.
We have no executive sessions tonight. Do we have any more public comments?
What Bob was talking about on the tank, so I presume that was a former tank that's assumed removed that the township has to deal with.
It was removed in '89.
Has anybody reached out to see if there's any grants from many of the numerous?
All the state money that were under storage tanks has been depleted.
How long is the township liable for inspection there?
There's no closeout from the EPA, so there's no time limit on that. We have to have the EPA send us the letter. They initiated it. I said, hey, where's your, they were, I think during COVID, they started going through all the old records and found and started addressing all these
storage tanks that maybe have been removed, maybe it was done legally, everything was done, but they didn't have any closeout paperwork to prove that. And so they came to, we did get the letter and said, hey, you know,
So even if it's removed and it gets a clean test, it still has to get tested.
if they don't have the, if they don't have the backup paperwork to show it, they don't have the documentation to show it, you know, according to the previous highway commissioner, a few back, it was done and it was removed, correctly and the contaminant soil was hauled out, everything was done appropriately, except for the follow-up documentation. So since there isn't any, they requested, so we have to prove to them that, that it was done.
And just so you know, so they, the EPA hired 5,500 people right now. And it's all they're doing. Just let's know that. EPA is a. We're bad.
Any more public comments? Members' remarks? Would anyone like to make a remark?
I would. So this is, I think very much pertains to you, Michelle. You've done a wonderful job reaching out to the community, and beautifying the space we have. We talk about it almost every meeting, and I really think that you deserve a round of applause for reaching out and having them come and having them make it as beautiful as it was, because 4 years ago when we started, it wasn't. So thank you very much.
Any more membership remarks or? Yeah, I actually have one.
Hey, Sarah.
I do. I do. Yes, yeah, there is. I want to present the board tonight with a pride flag that will be flown at the township.
That's beautiful.
This was bought a little while ago, and tonight I thought it was a good night to get it, so it'll be the official flag that will be flown on the flag, on the pole.
Nice, that is beautiful. Can I ask a technical question for the flag junkies out there? Is it actually smaller than our American flag or equal size?
Oh, then I'm starting to get a bigger one.
It's gonna be the same size that, our township flag's gonna be, it's gonna be 3x5, and so.
Then it'll fit fine.
It'll fit fine, and make sure that they're the same size.
Wonderful, thank you, that's beautiful. Fantastic.
Okay. If there's no more membership remarks. Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second motion to adjourn meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go home.
We're adjourned at 7:42 PM.
What happened was if I didn't have like the right vector,